2 to 4 inches of snow per hour.
Nearly 75 million people are under some kind of winter watch or warning right now as a nor'easter is pummeling parts of the mainland. Evan McMorris-Santero is live in New York City with the latest.
As this massive winter storm continues to batter the Northeast, we're starting to get a picture of just how big this storm is. Here in New York City, where I'm standing, a foot of snow has fallen. The last time a single storm brought a foot of snow to New York was 2016. That's led to big problems and snarled things up here in the city. Both airports, the JFK and LaGuardia, have now shut down commercial travel. Transportation has been limited, and the mayor has ordered people to stay home, saying only essential travel as this storm continues to roll through. It's a similar story across other parts of the Northeast. In Boston, Philadelphia, New Jersey, and here in New York, vaccination sites have shuttered while this storm rolls through. So that effort to get the vaccine out, people are trying to hope to speed up, has been slowed down by this storm. We're waiting to see more about what actually is going to happen tonight, but we're being warned by public officials to expect more damage and more trouble. The governor of New Jersey says the worst of this storm is yet to come. And here where I'm standing in New York City, you can see there's a lot of storm still happening. But we'll have more and we'll know more as the night goes on. Live from New York City, I'm Evan McMorris-Santoro. Back to you.
The first repatriation flight from the U.S. to American Samoa departed Honolulu.
Mahealani Richardson has much more in today's Talker Story.
Yes, it is an emotional story, a roller coaster of emotions this morning. In fact, for many people on this repatriation flight, the whole experience is surreal. And earlier this morning, before dawn, we saw a series of buses come to the curbside here to drop people off one at a time. There are 159 people on this flight, so they came to the airport in groups. They've basically been living in a bubble at the White Sands Hotel in Waikiki for 2 weeks during this quarantine, and they've had a series of tests, COVID tests. Now, for these people, it has been quite a ride. You know, some people have been born during this waiting process, during this year wait process. Others have passed away. In fact, we talked to the Hisataki family. Their 33-year-old son was here in the United States for cancer treatments. That cancer was terminal, and unfortunately, he didn't make it. So with them, they are carrying his ashes on that flight, and we talked to them as soon as they got here to the curbside. How do you feel about boarding this flight after all this time?
Elated, bittersweet also, but just grateful. Thank you, Lord, for the opportunity that we've gotten.
It's not known when the next repatriation flight will be, but the series of flights are expected to last all the way until the summer. Now, for those on this flight, their advice to those who are still waiting: don't give up hope. Reporting from the Honolulu International Airport, I'm Mahealani Richardson, Hawaii News Now.
Face masks are now required on public transportation across the U.S. The CDC announced late Friday that mask wearing will be required beginning tonight. It applies to planes, trains, boats, and buses, and to transportation hubs like air terminals, subway stations, and seaports. Operators and transportation workers will be required to wear masks as well. The mandate was issued after President Joe Biden signed an executive order on January 21st calling for immediate action on mask wearing. Well, you can forget about Canadian tourism rescuing Hawaii's winter economy.
We all need to do our part to keep ourselves, our loved ones, and our neighbors safe. That's every person, every business working together. And now, Canada's air carriers are stepping up to protect Canadians too.
Canada tightened travel restrictions over the weekend, halting all Canadian flights to Mexico and the Caribbean through the end of April. But that's not all. Flyers to Canada, including returning Canadians, must COVID test at the airport and then await results in improved hotels at their own expense. Some say that creates a very pricey disincentive to come here.
President Joe Biden is threatening new sanctions on Myanmar after its military staged a coup and arrested senior government officials in early morning raids. Remy Inocencio has more.
Pre-dawn headlights of military vehicles lit up the road to Myanmar's capital, Naypyidaw. Now detained, top civilian leader Aung San Suu Kyi, President U Win Mint, and their lieutenants. As people rushed to stock up on supplies, the military clamped down on communication.
Since the morning, the internet and the phone line, the mobile phone lines are cut off. So a lot of people are confused.
This interview with a local filmmaker freezing up and dying. The military alleges election fraud in November's parliamentary polls. Myanmar's election commission has rejected that. Aung San Suu Kyi's governing party won in an even bigger landslide than before in 2015. The daughter of assassinated General Aung San, the now 75-year-old democracy icon, spent 15 years under house arrest, peacefully protesting against the junta. In 1991, she won her Nobel Prize. In 2015, she rose to be the nation's top civilian leader, tying her reputation to the military leaders who locked her up. Barack Obama became the first U.S. president to travel to Myanmar. But critics say she failed to address the potential genocide of the Muslim minority Rohingya. In 2017, hundreds of homes were burned. The UN called it ethnic cleansing, and nearly 1 million have fled to neighboring Bangladesh. Aung San Suu Kyi fell out of favor with the international community, but she's still adored at home.
And Aung San Suu Kyi is now calling on the Burmese people to protest, to push back against a return to dictatorship. Meantime, around the world, many countries are condemning what's happening in Myanmar. For example, the United Nations is saying that it is a step back for democratic reform, and the White House is threatening retaliation. Ramy Inocencio, CBS News, Beijing.
Shirlene Ostrov has reportedly resigned as the head of Hawaii's Republican Party. This comes a week after the party made national headlines for its tweets defending QAnon supporters. They believe that former President Trump was fighting a group of Satan-worshipping pedophiles who were secretly running the world. The official who posted the tweets, Edwin Boyette, has since resigned. In an email, the Hawaii GOP said Ostrov thought she should step down as well to allow the party to recover. Ostrov will continue to serve on the party's executive committee. Her permanent replacement will be chosen in May. For now, Boyd Reddy will be the acting chair.
Republican leaders and the president are meeting today to try to find a compromise in reaching a new stimulus deal. Skylar Henry is at the White House with the very latest developments.
This afternoon, a group of Republican senators is meeting with the president and vice president at the White House to discuss their $600 billion COVID relief counterproposal.
It's an exchange of ideas, an opportunity to do that. What this meeting is not is a forum for the president to make or accept an offer.
Senate Republicans have balked at the $1.9 trillion price tag of President Biden's proposal. Both plans call for $160 billion for COVID vaccine distribution, testing, and PPE supplies. Key differences in the GOP proposal include smaller direct stimulus payments with a lower income cutoff and lower weekly unemployment insurance payments only lasting through June.
We're targeted to the needs of the American people, treating our tax dollars as if there are tax dollars, not just money to spend.
The president has consistently called for bipartisanship in COVID relief negotiations, but the Biden administration also cautions against passing a bill that's too small. On MSNBC, West Virginia's Republican governor also called for a large package.
We need to go big, and if we waste some money now, well, we waste some money. But absolutely, we've got too many people hurting.
We hope that we can move forward in a bipartisan way with our Republican colleagues cooperating.
Congressional Democrats say they may act on the president's proposal without Republican support in a process called budget reconciliation, which would allow the plan to pass in the Senate with a simple majority. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
The key to stopping coronavirus mutation is getting vaccinated. That's according to Dr. Anthony Fauci, who's making another plea to Americans today.
You need to get vaccinated when it becomes available as quickly and as expeditiously as possible throughout the country. And the reason for that is that there is a fact that permeates virology, and that is that viruses cannot mutate if they don't replicate. And if you stop their replication by vaccinating widely and not giving the virus an open playing field to continue to respond to the pressures that you put on it, you will not get mutations.
According to data posted Sunday by the CDC, a total of 471 cases of the coronavirus strains first spotted in the UK, South Africa, and Brazil have been reported in at least 32 U.S. states.
Toys R Us is closing its stores again. Only 2 locations were left in the U.S. after True Kids Inc. bought the retailer in a 2018 liquidation sale. The company says locations in New Jersey and Texas are permanently closing because of the pandemic. True Kids now plans to focus on other platforms. It says Toys R Us websites remain operational and more than 700 stores outside of the United States are still open. A robbery attempt gone wrong caught on video. Police are working to ID the suspects who pepper sprayed customers and employees at a Honolulu Walmart. Rick Daysog has more.
The brazen attempted robbery occurred around 10 o'clock Saturday night at the Keaumoku Walmart. 2 women allegedly tried to steal 2 flat-screen TVs when they were confronted at the exit by several employees.
They put out pepper spray and they started just spraying whoever was in the area. Everyone was in complete shock. I'm just glad the thieves didn't pull out no gun.
This employee was sprayed in the face.
Needs water in her eyes.
A customer who videotaped the aftermath of the attack says shoppers were also doused.
I think the pepper spray may have gotten on a few customers, but it wasn't as intense as the one that, started screaming. I actually smelled the pepper spray, and at first my eyes was itchy. But I don't think it wasn't as bad as obviously the others.
Witnesses say the suspects dropped the televisions but were able to get away. Because the suspects allegedly used force and used pepper spray as a weapon, the attempted robbery will likely be classified as a Class A felony, which is a serious offense. That's punishable by a 20-year jail sentence if the suspects are found guilty. Retail experts say bold crimes like this are on the upswing.
We're seeing more and more of this, people coming in with box cutters, people coming in with syringes where we don't know what it's filled with, and just trying to get away with grabbing and going.
We're told police have stepped up their investigation and could identify the suspects as early as this week. Rick Daysog, Hawaii News Now.
Now to the latest coronavirus numbers. The state health department is reporting 90 new cases today and no new fatalities. The breakdown by island shows 7 cases on the Big Island, 1 on Kauai, 19 on Maui, 57 on Oahu, and 6 residents were diagnosed out of state.
And a reminder, you can always get those latest numbers in our HNN e-newsletter. All you have to do is go to our HNN digital platforms. The website's really the easiest, and sign up for those email alerts there. They get sent out every afternoon. I'm writing them up and sending out breaking information along with those latest numbers. So just look for those again on your HNN digital platforms. Want to take you back outside live to New York City. Look at that. We had a reporter there on the ground earlier. That nor'easter hammering the area. Guess what the temperature is right now? Any guesses?
30s.
Very close, 32. So it's freezing there right now. Let's just have a little contrast here, shall we, for our friends on our mainland? A lovely 75 degrees there in downtown Honolulu. Let's turn it over to Billy V now. He has an update on our work week weather. Here he is.
Happy Aloha Monday. I'm Billy B sitting in for Guy Hoggy. Let's give you your forecast. We'll start with the surf. 4 to 6 feet over on the North Shore, and that's your biggest waves there. 2 to 4 everywhere else or less. Over in the east, it's really messy with that trade wind swell. Trade wind weather is what you'll get today. As we take a look at the 7-day forecast, we'll actually look at more in depth in a moment. But watch up here in the corner. This is a cold front that's going to start to move towards the Hawaiian Islands as we put this into motion. Once we get to Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, you'll start to see the prefrontal showers that will affect Oahu, Kauai, and come through the state, but also the showers with the cold front. So the prefrontal showers will pretty much saturate things. Then we're going to have to watch real carefully to see how much rain is here in the actual cold front itself. That could lead to possible flooding conditions. Once again, heavy rain showers, thunderstorms, they are forecast for your wet Wednesday. Keep that in mind. And then as that pulls through, northerly winds are going to be keeping things kind of cool, but watch what happens coming up on Friday here. That front gets here to the edge of the state, and what's going to happen is that the winds are going to pull some of that moisture right back onto the state. So we could get some continued shower activity. We'll watch that really carefully for you. Once again, as we go through the rest of the forecast week, let's get you finally that 7-day forecast. Today, once again, trade wind weather. Tomorrow, change in the winds, southerly winds, wet Wednesday here, and then northerly winds and nice temperatures for the rest of the week. Always get the latest on air, online, on your mobile device, and at HawaiiNewsNow.com.
Saved by the Bell star Dustin Diamond has died after a recent cancer diagnosis. Diamond, who is best known for playing Screech on the hit 90s sitcom, was hospitalized last month in Florida, and his team announced he was battling stage 4 lung cancer and undergoing chemotherapy. Diamond was just 44 years old. Meanwhile, legendary singer Tony Bennett has revealed he's battling Alzheimer's disease. In an interview with AARP magazine, the 94-year-old said he received the diagnosis in 2016. In the article, Bennett says he has been spared some of the worst symptoms that can accompany the disease, but his wife said he's not always aware of where he is or what's happening around him. Bennett's last public performance was in March of last year. Bennett reportedly has a new album coming out this spring, one that was recorded between 2018 and 2020.
UK's Prime Minister is sending his well wishes to British Captain Tom Moore as the famous World War II veteran remains hospitalized with COVID-19.
Well, I spoke to the family last night, and all I can say is Captain Tom Moore has been an inspiration to everybody in this country.
Moore caught the public's imagination in April, just before his 100th birthday, when he was filmed doing laps with the help of his walker around his garden in his North London village. His viral fame helped him raise millions of dollars in donations for the country's health service. He broke 2 Guinness World Records and earned himself knighthood from the Queen.
Our thoughts and our prayers are now with him and with his family.
Ours are as well, wishing him the very best in his recovery there.
Yeah, we were big Captain Tom fans.
Yeah, we've been following this whole time. I really hate to see that. We're going to switch gears here now just a bit. A lot of folks I know online are talking about this. Coachella is off again. Yep, that's right. The Coachella Music Festival and Arts Festival will not return this April. It has been canceled yet again. That announcement coming from public health officers at Riverside County in California. The event had been planned for April 9th through the 11th, and then again the 16th through the 18th. The postponement is the 3rd time this massive event has had to change due to the pandemic. I'm sure everyone does understand there, artists and fans alike. I've never actually been to the Coachella. I've been to some other music festivals. We were talking a bit earlier. Neither one of us are really those overnight camper type
you know,
events.
one day and I'm good. I can't really, I'm not a good camper, as we all know.
As close as camping conditions as close quarters, there's no way it could have happened this year. It really isn't.
So this is what I found. Apple wants you to celebrate Black History Month with its new limited edition Black Unity Apple Watch. Now the collection features an Apple Watch Series 6 with a Black Unity sport band and a Unity face watch. So the new band has the colors of the Pan-African flag with the words truth, power, and solidarity. The new watch face changes its pattern of irregular shapes as the watch moves.
It reminds me really of Swatch Watch, and you know how creative and sometimes even political they got with their bands and looks, and now to see that on Apple, I think that's really cool that they're bringing some culture to the look you can have with your Apple Watch, and you can customize it that way, and for another good cause there.
That's right. And you guys, some McDonald's news, because this is now and it's lunchtime. So spicy chicken McNuggets and mighty hot sauce are back at participating McDonald's restaurants nationwide today. Now, the fast food giant first added the heat to the classic McNuggets last fall, the first flavor innovation since the product's debut back in 1983. So McNuggets are as old as we are, John.
A little bit younger than me. Just a bit. Just a bit.
So the spicy McNuggets were an instant hit, and fans took to social media to ask the chain to bring back the spicy McNuggets. Now, as an added bonus, starting tomorrow, customers can get a free 6-piece spicy chicken McNuggets exclusively through DoorDash or an order of $20 or more using the promo code SPICY.
They were available here when they came out last time around, and I was quick to try them out, and I gotta give them my 2 thumbs up.
Really?
As my taste tester, yeah, I would almost say they're better than the original.
Wow,
yes,
that is something.
I really enjoyed them.
How spicy is it, like on a
Oh
scale
no,
of 1 to
it's
10?
like if it was like a tie 1 through 5, it would be like a 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe even a 1.5.
Got it.
They're not scaring people with that spice. No way. You guys, everyone here at H&N is so excited about the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 55 is going to look so much different. We got CBS's Jamie Yuccas in Tampa, who's going to show us how the Super Bowl is really looking a lot different, especially when we're talking about the fans and what the NFL is doing to keep us updated.
5-10 years ago, this print right now would take us about an hour to print. But with these speeds and these new lights, it takes about 45 seconds.
Jared Smith has been in the printing business for more than 20 years. His Tempe, Arizona company, Blue Media, and their 120,000 square foot factory was tapped by the NFL to help with a Super Bowl-sized problem.
The league had a challenge of, do we fill the stadium with cutouts? Do we play in a half-empty stadium? What is socially responsible as far as the amount of fans that we can allow?
The answer? A bit of both. Alongside the tens of thousands of real fans who will be socially distanced inside Raymond James Stadium will be these plastic recyclable cardboard-like cutouts submitted from football fans around the world. They're all created here in Arizona and all part of the NFL's program called Fans in the Stands. For $100 per cutout, fans uploaded their photos online, with all proceeds going to charity.
I think we'll be producing between 20 and 30,000 cutouts for the Super Bowl by the time it's all said and done. You know, every single one of these, they're actual people, and they're from all over the country, and it's cool to see almost everybody is smiling, just the concept that they're going to get to be in the game.
Just like their living counterparts, the cutouts started showing up in Tampa this past weekend.
Who's this first one?
Look at that.
Oh, Minnesota Viking Matt Burke.
Okay.
Did you know I'm a Viking fan?
I did not know that. We opened it up to each segment.
Jason Baker is the director of execution for Blue Media and is responsible for installation.
We'll have basically a 7-day install from now till the 6th, so all the way up till Saturday night. Game time's on the 7th, and then we tear it all out on the 8th.
They're being specially grouped, including sections for military veterans, healthcare workers, and cancer survivors.
One of the cool stories, once we installed those, we saw 30, 35 mile an hour winds, and the fan cutouts were moving a little bit. At first we were concerned, but when you step back, it kind of looked like the fans were cheering, and it was really cool.
Blue Media made sure they put in a special order on their production line. Let's go ahead and show you who's going to be in attendance this Sunday, along with tens of thousands of others: Gail, Tony, and Anthony. Jamie Yuccas, CBS News, Tampa.
That's awesome. I've got to get an Ashley one out there for sure.
Are you working on Super Bowl Sunday?
I am not. I am not. I'm actually going to start vacation starting Wednesday, but I'll be watching you guys at home.
Thank you.
You have a big show planned.
Yeah, me and Mark Carpenter will be anchoring the newscast right after the Super Bowl, so tune in. We'll be right there to fill you in on all your daily news on Sunday.
Yeah, and there was some big football news from over the weekend, right?
That's right. So the 2020 NFL Pro Bowl is not quite like past year's games at Aloha Stadium. This year's all-star event instead is being played on the digital gridiron of Madden 21. Now, the NFC and AFC squads were comprised of current and past NFL stars like Deshaun Watson, Derrick Henry, and Marshawn Lynch. In the end, the Kyler Murray-led NFC took the W 32-16. Aloha Stadium last hosted the Pro Bowl in 2016.
Everyone's going to agree it's not like it was, but I have to say, props for a really creative pandemic reinvention of that Pro Bowl game. I really like that idea, and it looks so fun. They're having a blast.
Yeah.
It's like an element in a realm we don't really get to see these players in too much, so I hope people enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So again, guys, that's going to do it for This Is Now on this Monday. We got a whole work week to get to this week, but Ashley's going to be back here before Tuesday on This Is Now, first at 4 on KHNL. I'll be back here tomorrow, again at noon on KHNL. All your digital platforms will be bringing you the updates of the day on your lunch break. Have a good afternoon, everyone. Stay safe.
Aloha.